Hello and welcome once again to another unboxing. Today, Rise of Moloch, Simon's brand new adventure game, sort of dungeon crawler-esque, steampunk style, which I'm really excited to actually get on the table sometime soon. And let's see what's in the box. We've got rule books. It actually isn't very thick. I'm kind of surprised. I would have thought it'd be a little bit bigger. I have heard the rulebook isn't the best thing in the world. I haven't really dived into it yet, so we'll see. It doesn't look too complicated, but nonetheless, could be more complicated than it looks. Campaign book, which is a little bit thicker than the original. Looks like this is basically for the Nemesis. I won't show too much to avoid spoilers, but you can see various maps, sort of the scenario, and that sort of thing. Looks like there's about 6 scenarios in there. And we've got, this is all wrapped in plastic, so I will unpack that. Alright, for this cardboard we have a round tracker. And looks like, on the back here, I think this is basically a sort of buy upgrade stage kind of thing in between each scenario. We have another sort of map. Looks like I think this is an ether tracker, so mana or some sort of resource. Some punch board here. We've got some various tiles, which this looks like what you will move on for the various scenarios. Doors. Got crates, some more tiles. Oh, and these are also double-sided. Very sort of Victorian street. Let's see what this one had on the back. Yeah, Victorian streets and sort of townhouses, that sort of thing. I'm very much liking the artwork so far, though. It looks pretty nice. Ooh, and a grizzly monster there at the bottom, all eviscerated. It looks like possibly a dock of some sort. Sewers. A variety here. We got wound trackers. I'm guessing this is supposed to be ether. Of course, still on the same side. And we have flame tokens, so I'm guessing some sort of fire. And then alphabet tiles. I'm not sure exactly what those are to be tracking, but we'll find out. And there's also a big long curtain. Alright, we got more. Let's pull out these cards. These are all wrapped in plastic, so I will unload these. Alright, we got several decks here. So the first one I'm going to show is the Common Arsenal. I'm guessing these are basically starting weapons, revolvers, pipes, and shotguns. Just your basic sort of not so fancy equipment, but still does some damage at least, that sort of thing. A very small deck here, but the Moloch stone, various stones they give looks like a little bonus as you collect them over the course of a campaign. Another equipment deck, the artifacts, and all sorts of sort of archaeological type things, and lots of little bonuses essentially. Doesn't look like any are really, well, a few for an attack. Crystal skull, Dorian picture, so lots of cool little stuff in there. We have a gear deck, so more equipment. This is going to have vials, whistles, derringers, binoculars, first aids. This looks like sort of your basic sort of equipment that you equip and use, that sort of thing. I believe this is the last of the equipment decks, Royal Arsenal. So very fancy guns and weapons, swords, daggers, but super fancy stuff. Basically, I'm guessing this might be the highest you're going to get. Oh, there's even a dog in here. Some steampunk stuff in here. There's not a whole lot. You got a few like the shock sword here, Tesla blade. There we go. Some more steampunky type thing. Shock rifle. Like a helmet. Battle fairy. That's an interesting one. I believe all the rest of the decks I have are basically for the Nemesis player. This is what everyone will be going against, and so this is Torment deck. I'm guessing this is if, basically, if the Nemesis does enough damage to you, draw one of these, and it either lets the Nemesis do something, or you get damaged in some way. Stunned, lose something, that sort of thing. Oh, I lied. I found one more for the player characters. So these are upgrade decks for the various classes you can be. We've got Monster, Mechamancer, Knight, Delante, and Arcanist. And so these are basically the abilities they can get. So the Arcanist can heal, and we've got, Copycat ability, a Guardian, so sort of a tanky class. Looks like a mage of some sort. And then just basically your berserker, crazy warrior type thing for the monster. I actually believe these are for the player characters as well. The roles. So you've got like leader, bruiser. They basically, for every role you get kind of like a little bonus action or bonus to your stats. The Chaos deck, this reminds me very much of Mansions of Madness. Essentially, it looks like the Nemesis player is going to have a couple of these cards in their hand during certain times. And they'll be able to play it on a gentleman, one of the player characters, and basically it sort of debuffs them or gives them sort of a penalty, or in some cases allows the Nemesis to move that player. Basically just mess with the player characters, cause chaos. There's a Nemesis power deck. This is obviously for the Nemesis player. I believe this is kind of like a class, like an Imperial Assault. So you start with these basic powers, which allow you to do things, and then over the course of scenario, you upgrade, or at least you gain more. I'm not exactly 100% sure. I'm forgetting exactly how this game does it, but I think it's similar to that. And here's a location deck. I think this is for in between scenarios when you go to upgrade. You'd shuffle these up and put them some places, and basically looks like certain locations only certain classes can go and actually get an upgrade or buy anything. Something along those lines, or you'd get something for the next round you play. You'd get a little bonus to your stats, that sort of thing. This might be the cost at the bottom. I'm not 100% sure, having not going through the rule book in a while, but yeah, it's something like that. Got a very small ally deck here, just a few sort of allies you can get along the way. And these are activation cards. Both the heroes and the villains are in here. The heroes are towards the back. Basically, I believe you put these on this determines basically turn order. And so I'm not exactly sure which place they go on. I think it was that one with all the cards. And then whichever one's first gets activated, they move to the end of the line, that sort of thing. I think that's how it works. There might be something a little bit more complicated than that, but generally that's how it works. Alright, back to the box. So we've got another bunch of tiles and things in here. Alright, so this is where it's a little different from like Imperial Assault and those types of games. So those other tiles, which were like the interiors, are actually going to go on top of these tiles. These will be basically the playground, or which the actual sort of place you're going. And so we've got a lot of street tiles. Looks like cemetery on some sides, and flaming cauldron, volcano perhaps. Oh yeah, Moloch's throne. There's a ship, or is that the church? I'm forgetting. Hard to exactly tell. On the back of this one, it looks kind of like a church. And then more street on the other side. Alright, finally almost through this box. So we've got custom dice with various little symbols here. Not sure exactly which mean what at the moment, but there they are. Character stands. I'm not sure what these are for. There's minis, so I don't think... Must be for something. Activation or something. These are the character dashboards. Basically, they're for the various different heroes. Not going to be all that different. So you're going to have the various things you can put down here, and then these are sort of the stats of the character, and this is sort of a special ability, and that sort of thing. And then lastly here we've got, oh, no, two things. Looks like, ooh, very good, player reference cards. Always lovely to see those. And then here's going to be a deck of all the various sort of nemesises that you'll fight. Minions, agents. I believe agents are obviously the stronger buffer, and then there's a boss, and then minions, which are the really weak. Just sort of the ones that you need to fight off all the time. Whew, and that does it for all the actual components. Basically, the miniatures, as always, I'm going to do a nice little close-up and show everything. So let's move on to that.